traders, this is a daily recap for the Friday, June 15th, 2018. I'll go over my trades and the thesis thought process behind them. So I had some long here coming into the open expecting all-time highs test. I took a small loss on this as it was looking really weak. The market was weak. Ended up getting out pre-market. Took a small loss on the overnight long. I think I got a little bit, like $300 profit on one, and then the other one was almost flat. So it was just a small loss on this. And then the thought process here was possibly a bounce off of this 390 area and another, test for all-time highs. That was the thought process initially, but the way this was, the market was so weak and everything, I just couldn't quite get past my short bias. I wanted to get a piece of this, a nice healthy piece of this short. I think it's going to correct back a few days, maybe 360, something like that. So I wanted to get a good short off on this. To me, this was the big play. The long was just a little piece, short piece intraday. I was looking to get in for the big play. So I started in short. The plan was to short. Once it broke this 390, I was like, oh man, I don't like it. I mean, we came all the way down. What did we come down to here? 387. So I really didn't like it for a long at all at that point. I thought we might just fail all day. So I wanted to get short the 390 area. I got short just over 390, but with a plan to add. So I just started in with a starter size here with a plan to add 395 overall short rather than looking at the long picture. I wanted to add here. So it came up to 395. I took my add and got stopped out quickly shortly after that. And then I just waited patiently for this to hit, and I took a short here and I covered. And then I took a short here and I got some size on this one, and I covered some at the 395 in case it wanted to bounce and consolidate here. And so I covered the bulk of it. I was looking to get an add on a bounce, but I didn't get a good enough bounce to get an add. And so I was only able to just kind of cover into the wash here again. This is where I got some size. Finally broke down to this 395, came back up and tested it like clockwork, came back up and tested it. I got some size in here, and I just kept working a core. I covered it here, and I got some more size here. And then I got a pretty healthy one here. Got a pretty healthy size here, somewhere in here. Working that core. And the initial one, and I just kind of took my size off less and less. So on this big wash here, I got most of my size here. I covered into this, and then I added back here, but I was adding smaller size as the day went on. And then when this last little pop and this push back to 395, I went ahead and loaded up here again, and I'm holding this whole position overnight short off of this area right here. So I had already locked in a killer day, and now I'm holding a pretty fat position here. I'm expecting this to fade off, and if it does, it'll probably be a record trade for me. I have puts on this also. I bought puts in this area too. 390 strike. So if these things actually break down here, it breaks 390, those things are going to really be in the money too. So this could be a record breaker for me right here. Depending on what it does, I might take a pretty within my risk, but I might take a sizable loss if we get bounce over 395. I'm going to get out. I don't want to be holding any of this if we go to all-time highs. Otherwise, if it corrects back, I'll be looking for that. What else did I take? Tesla calls only. So working with the options, and some of the guys in the chat room just kind of explaining the thought process and all that with all of these. Had a plan to buy the pullback to 350, but was so focused on Netflix, totally missed this. I didn't want to buy it here as it was testing yesterday's highs, so I waited until it broke, and I bought the calls here and sold them into this, and then that's it, all out on that one. Let's see, what do we do on there? So the Tesla, what I do, I only did 10 contracts. So it wasn't, but it was still a nice fat gain off 10 contracts. It's pretty healthy. I mean, almost $3,000 with 10 contracts, just buying this breakout here. So as it broke and pulled, I bought contracts here and then sold into 3 pieces up into that. So banked pretty good on that, but the big one was Netflix. And it just kind of goes to show, man, I mean, I could have bought this long. The setup would have been, as soon as I got stopped out to flip long, I could have got really good size on this. I mean, it could have got a pretty good trade on this upside too, but I was sticking to the short plan. I had a short thesis, and for whatever reason, the way the market was selling off and stuff, I just couldn't It's so close to all-time highs, so close to the round number of 400. I just didn't feel like long was the play on Netflix, although there was $10 on it easily, right? Um, but I still banked on the short. Now I've got puts, and I've got a really good position. If this thing does break down and do some correction here in the next couple of days, it's going to be a nice trade. All right, so that's it. You guys have a good weekend. See you Monday. Peace.